John, Michael Higgins, how's it going? Thanks for talking to me.
I can hear you. I'm good. Nice to talk to you.
We are talking about America Says. You are a world famous host. I'm a host. Some of my coworkers don't even know who I am.
I know who
what's
you
the
are.
key here? Where's the help bridge the gap here? Give me some tips.
No. You probably have more experience than I do. I did some hosting. I did a lot of like one-offs, like hosting award shows and stuff like that. I've never had a strip show like this. I listen very carefully to what any contestant says because they're always going to say something that I can come up with a funny comment on if I just listen. If I listen very carefully. And I have to, the tricky part is I have to keep the game going, and what do I know about games? Not much. So, that's the hard part. It's like, it's like a two-in-one job where I have to be this sort of funny guy, but I also have to like keep the game moving forward. Otherwise they won't get their game, so that's the tricky part, I think.
Well, you've played a host on shows in the past, multiple shows. Did that help get you prepared, or is this completely different? What's it like going from playing a host to actually being a host?
Well, yeah, my career has been as an actor where you don't really have to know how to do anything. Somebody hands you some, some lines to say, and you put a mirror on your head and a white coat, and suddenly you've gone to medical school for 8 years, So, which I certainly haven't. But boy, they can make it look like you have. So with the game show host, it's tricky because I have played game show hosts, you're right, in television shows or movies or something like that. But, then I'm not really doing anything. I'm not trying to keep a game alive or care for contestants who are real people. When I played it on a television show, those are actors, Now these are actually people who have come from North Dakota to play the game, So I have to have a whole bunch of skills in dealing with actual people, which as an actor, I'm not a real person. I'm actually the opposite of a person. I'm a fake person. So, now as a game show host, you're kind of a real person. And that's a new piece of my career. Comedians to some extent had to be real people because they have to stand in front of people in nightclubs and interact with them. And those are just normal people. But I haven't had a whole lot of experience doing that. It's been really fun, though. I mean, I actually love talking to the contestants. They're hilarious. They always make me laugh. Every episode, they made me laugh about something.
Have you felt the pressure to grow out the mustache, kind of go the Steve Harvey route, or are you just kind of doing your own thing, putting your own spin on this thing? How do you decide how to act as a host? And as far as the jokes go, do you just make them up on the spot, or do you come prepared with some jokes?
No, I make them up on the spot, and as far as, I couldn't imitate Steve Harvey if I tried. He has his whole thing, and it's very special, and it's his. I think between me and Game Show Network, we've figured out a way for me to be me. Sammy Davis, of course, great baseball player. He'd slide into home plate and tap dance on it. Express myself and keep the game alive. And basically, it's my own gig. And Game Show Network's been great about letting me express my preferences or whatever pops into my head. Sometimes it isn't even funny. Sometimes I just make comments on things. And that's been really refreshing, actually. I think I get better and better at it as we go. So. But I have really admired great show hosts in the past, Steve certainly, and others from the grand old day. I'm that age, so I remember some of these great hosts, Bob Eubanks and Ted Lang and Gary Owen and stuff like that, who I still have in my head, and I do think about them when I'm at work, when I'm doing my thing. I'm like, what would Bob Eubanks do right now? He actually wouldn't comment. He would just look in the camera, and then he'd let the audience do the commenting, So those sorts of things you get good at, I think,
Yeah, and a lot of times the hosts, like Steve Harvey, they're comedians because, they're funny people, and the people that make the show know that they're going to be great entertainers. A lot of people probably think that you're a comedian as well, but you started as a dramatic actor.
Yeah.
And you've done so many great, funny roles. Were you just like, oh, by the way, I'm hilarious, like halfway into your acting career? How does this work? How does that happen?
I don't know. It's a good question, but I think part of it is that for whatever reason, in Hollywood, when I was a stage actor for many years of my career in New York, and when I went to Hollywood, for some reason, I was only hired, and to this day, as really a comedian, like a comic actor. I didn't see it coming. It was not what I was before. Then I got into films like Christopher Guest films where they're all improvised. And so I was making up everything I said in those films and other films that were basically imitations of Chris Guest type films. And so I guess I got a sheen on me of somebody who was fast on his feet and could improvise, which talk show hosts and game show hosts have to do constantly. And so it's not something that was foreign to me, although it was never like the big thing in the job, which it is for me now. It's been a bit of a learning curve, but you know, I am pretty fast on my feet, even though I'm really just an actor. But I think it came from doing projects where they were improvised dialogue, you know. So I just had a lot of practice.
Well, Michael, Best in Show is comedy gold. I could talk to you all day. They're letting me know that I need to let you go because you haven't more of these wrapped up. It was a pleasure talking with you. I'm a big fan. Keep up the great work. And Twin Cities, make sure you check out America Says. It is going to be on Game Show Network Monday through Friday at 4 p.m.
Yes, everybody in Minneapolis, I think you'll love the show. And thanks, John. Nice to chat with you.